I'm gonna make a little book haul video because it's a little bit too hot. So I've got lots of books that I've collected over the past few weeks or month or so, which I haven't put in one of my little videos. That they're just for my enjoyment and for no other purposes. There's a big pile of books here from a big job lot that I bought, but I didn't go through it all into like a book haul video, but I can't be bothered. I don't really think it matters for now. But there's lots of interesting stuff here that I have to, like, for my own brain, I'll think like the time that I got them and how to put them in the right timings. Just for my brain, like, compartmentalizing, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure I've not already sort of put these in a little my little diary things. I had a Waterstones voucher, which I needed to spend, or just felt like I needed to spend. So the first thing is this, it's put together by Right to Rome. It's like a collection of writing, I think poems maybe? No, I don't think it's poems, it's like short non-fiction, or maybe some short fiction as well. Just as like a collection, in aid of what? In aid of Right to Rome, I suppose. Maybe it is for fundraising for them. I'm not really sure. But when I looked at it, I thought I already had it and I already bought it, but I don't think I did. So I bought it. Maybe I've got another one somewhere. I hope not. I don't think so. That would be mad. I got a copy of Naomi Klein, This Changes Everything, in good time for the record heat temperature of this year. Started flicking through it, read a little bit of that. It's not a small book, but I've read a lot of different books about climate science and politics, and this is like one that you've got to read, I suppose. And I also got Angela Davis, Angela Y. Davis. Something I've wanted to grab and read for a long while. So I have to get to that soon. I try to read like these sorts of non-fiction in between reading fiction, but it doesn't always go to plan. And there's a couple of rogue books that I think I bought individually. Thomas Disch, Echo Round His Bones, which is one I want to read. I got this copy of The Exile Waiting. So I read Dream Snake, and this is connected to Dream Snake in the same world. I think I read the first chapter, then put it down, picked that up again. And I found this copy of Waystation, which was actually in the train station bookshelf. I need to probably put a couple of books on that shelf to give back, the give and take. Then there's a stack of books that I got entirely from Oxfam recently in one go. I was really excited to find this because I'd heard a lot about it. Well, not a lot about it. I heard about it from Big Nate's Book Reviews. It's an interesting guy on YouTube. I think he's very funny and reads a lot of interesting stuff. And this sounds like required reading for me because I've done a little bit of reading about psychedelics and things. I've not done a little bit of peyote. And I found this, Feminist Perspectives in Philosophy, and it just jumped out at me a little bit. And when's it from? 1988, so it's like a little bit like, yeah, it's a while ago. So it's early on thinking about fitting in like feminism as a, you know, where it fits in sort of broader sort of intellectual thinking. I suppose like back then it would have still been more of only like a, not only, but like a social kind of thing that's happening, and not something that had been written about and had been thought about a lot. But like 1988, it's quite early on, but it's also not. But I know what I'm thinking, but it probably sounds wrong. There's probably an awful lot of like interesting feminist works before that, but I suppose they're thinking about fitting it into philosophy and where it fits in like philosophical debates. You know, really broad thinking on feminism. And I just picked it up, looked good. And then I got this copy of The Great When, which is like really new. Well, this isn't so new, 2024, but like the paperback, so it's only like 2 years old. But Alan Moore has, I think, like 5 of these planned for this series, and this seems like, you know, I think it will give me kind of like Neil Gaiman-ish vibes, very British, it's set in London, but like a fantasy London. This is more kind of like magical realism, fantasy, I think. I don't think it'll be super fantastical, but it could be. Anyway, sounds cool, picked it up. Some Isaac Asimov, The Robots of Dawn. This is a big chunky robots book. Asimov obviously wrote like a couple hundred books or something, and he wrote dozens and dozens of robot books, it seems. I have no idea how many and which ones, or where to start. I've got quite a few, but I don't think I've ever read any Asimov. And I got this copy of The Einstein Intersection. I want to read. I've got a few Delaney to read. Really liked Babel 17, and the other one I read was only a sort of novella. Can't remember what it's called now off the top of my head. But this is a weird copy, a more recent copy in a sort of odd format. This Wesleyan University Press paperback, 1998. But yeah, a foreword by Neil Gaiman. And then John Keats. Kind of just felt like I had to pick this up because I don't think I've got a collection of Keats, and there's a couple like I'd like to read. Easy places to start. I think I'll like read the Hyperion poem. Since I've read Dan Simmons' Hyperion, I have to read Keats' Hyperion, and then there's a couple of others that I think I'll read. Endymion, maybe. Yeah, just think unexplored poet for me. And then recently, like the other week, to the comic book shop, and I picked up a couple of comics. I got the second volume of Absolute Batman. I wanted to try and get the single issues, but when I saw this there, I thought it was pretty much going to be the same price-wise for me to just get this than it would be to track down the single issues on eBay. So got that. Look forward to reading that. And then I picked up Headlopper Volume 1, which I had like years and years and years ago. and I just lost it, and I'd really like to reread it, and it's just such a beautiful comic, and I'll definitely sit down one evening soon and read like most of that in one sitting, I'm sure. And then I went to the ICA bookshop in London, and this is like one of my favourite bookshops, which is in the ICA, but it's a bookshop and the cinema there, and there's like the venue space in the back and the exhibition space. But they just have such interesting books there, and it's all obviously the arty stuff and political stuff and things. And I just had a quick look around, and one book jumped out at me. I'll go in that order actually. I was looking at this first, and this is one of these Vagabonds. It's Pluto Press Vagabonds series. I have another one of these, which isn't behind me, and they're just like an interesting collection. And I have the first one, which is sort of the post-COVID pandemic. It's like thinking about pandemics and politics around that, and they're just sort of really interesting little like topics, and obviously it's a great format which you just want to pick it up and start reading it. But this is about, so I don't know, this is a concept it's going to be hard to get into, figuring out what it means. Community safety in the Fourth World War, notes on insurgent conviviality. So I wouldn't even, no, it's just like lots of big words. Within like current geopolitical distresses, you know, if you look at the US particularly, the amount of protesting and political state violence, like with ICE, everything that's going on over there, is thinking about communities and building sort of safe communities, keeping safe communities, I assume, in like the face of basically state violence or state control that can become anti-community. I think it'd be super interesting. Probably take me a second to break into it, and things like first chapter, fierce care. Don't know. Caring on an aggressive scale. Community self-defense. I think this, is going to be picking up on lots of ideas that I find super interesting. I only grabbed it after I decided I wanted to buy this next book, and I saw it. Of Enemies and Venison, first materials for an Aztec cosmotechnic. Whatever a cosmotechnic is. So, it's basically like recovering the physical history of the Aztecs is what I've gotten from it. Like the materials and the sort of like think about the tools and the things that they were making and using, and how that sort of helps you understand their cosmology, which is like their view of the world, a view of sort of like religious or spiritual, psychological understanding. about hunting a lot and like what they're doing a lot of the times and the things that the way that they're living, essentially. And I think it's going to be quite wordy, and again, like something to really wrap your head around. It makes me really yawny. I'm quite tired, I suppose. Yeah, I just like had to pick it up. So I've always been interested in like Native Americans, Native South Americans, and the art especially. And this has got a few like bits of art and stuff in there. I used to copy drawings out of I think it was Aztec or Incan like art book. It was like prints of designs and things. Yeah, it jumped out at me because I'd been thinking about like a lot about like tools and ergonomics and technology and the sort of like psychological effects of technologies and tools over time and how they develop and how it affects your like morality to use certain tools. And I've been thinking about like the ergonomics of a tool, but like psychologically. And this seems like it's going to relate to that a bit, or maybe a lot. I don't know yet. Maybe it's describing the thing I'm thinking about is what I was thinking. And then I had a quick look at this one and had to pick it up. Workers and the World. Connecting workplace struggles with community movements to confront today's ecological crises. So it's like how labour movements and eco sort of climate movements are going to be able to like interconnect and be like fighting the same fight. These like Verso books publish a lot of this stuff, and I've read quite a few of them, and they just always like take me a really long time to read because they're super like brainy and sometimes difficult to comprehend, but always satisfying and interesting. They have like diagrams and stuff in. And then the last few things I got on Vinted. This is longer than it should really be. A copy of Dune Messiah, which I want to read before I watch the new Dune film. And then these four were in a little bundle and made it quite cheap. And the reason I got it was for Kite World, Keith Roberts, which I've heard about and think it sounds really like an interesting setting. And this is the copy I would want as well, with the cool cover, the penguin. And then there was Pavane by Keith Roberts, the other one of his that I want to read, and it came with a copy of Slaughterhouse 5, which I already have and I've already read it, but this is an older copy and it's pretty cool. I do quite like this, like poppy. I like these poppy kind of covers where big text and stuff. It's weird. It's kind of weird, but I prefer paintings. But I do also like this. You could stick that on the shelf somewhere, or really it should be like on the wall, like in a little frame. I wonder if you can get a frame that you can fit a book in. Absolutely love Kurt Vonnegut's drawings. Just fantastic. He was probably that's a great one as well. As great an artist as he was a writer, but probably didn't do as much of it as he should. And then this one was in there. Eric Frank Russell. I don't know, I've never heard of it. Space book. Probably really good. Just don't know what it is. And that's everything. For now, quite a lot of books. An awful lot of books behind me to read and get through, which I will at some point try and do.